Page 1's out. Paper used to be two papers. There was the Star and the Beacon, two different locations. They merged, and the Raleighs took over and made it the Star Beacon in the old building, and everything was located there. The press was in the basement, the composing room, the mail room were in that building, and that's when I started in the early 60s. Well, I got the job right out of high school. I took printing in high school, and the teachers recommended me, and I signed up to go in the Navy. And before the Navy called me, I came in here to work. It's been almost 50 years ago. It was a family-operated newspaper, and you felt like part of the family when you worked with them. They were here every day. You met face-to-face with them. They were very fair, very understanding. It was very pleasant working.
My dad was the janitor here in 1959, and when I was 11, my brother, Chris, we would have to come up and help my dad clean. Don Raleigh was the publisher and the owner, and we used to help my dad come up and dust shelves and mop floors and shovel lead, and because they used to have the linotype machines in the upstairs back room. And so we used to come up and help my dad. We shoveled coal in the furnace, because it was a coal-fired furnace, and we'd take the ashes out on Sunday night in the wintertime and put them in the alleyway out there to stop people from falling and slipping and stuff. Back in those days, you had the old lead press, and you'd walk in and you'd smell the hot lead. You'd smell the newspaper. That was the striking point of it, and you'd hear that press because it was so loud.
Roy Bush was a pressman in the basement. I think he came to work with ink on him. He put the ink on him when he came in the morning, and he would have the best of time to try to get ink on you. I mean, you couldn't get within 3 feet of Roy without getting ink on you. What we would do with the scrap metal, we would dump it from the 3rd floor in a chute that went all the way to the basement and made one horrendous noise. And Roy Bush, who I spoke of earlier, was one of these characters that said, "You do not do that unless I got the bucket under there to catch it. Otherwise it comes flying down all over the floor and everything." So we used to have big fun dumping that and timing Roy to get to the basement, to the top floor. We set some world records, actually, getting up the steps to see who did that. And everybody's, of course, busy working. You know, what are you talking about? Who? No, nobody knew. But Roy would pretty much have a stroke about that. And we would see him lurking in the stairways and watching to see if he could catch somebody dumping this metal down the chute. I believe the chute still exists upstairs there. And it went down all the way to the basement from the top floor. And that made quite a racket. And it would scare you. If you were down the basement and didn't have your chutes in there or your buckets, It would come flying down there, and it would pretty much wake up dead.